Welcome back to ASHEBORO Undecided. You are watching or listening to episode 9 of season 1, and we cannot thank you enough for checking this out. We want to highly encourage you to subscribe to our channel, to like, to comment, to share, and just general word of mouth about us is big. What's also big is rating each episode on IMDb. That helps tremendously. If you need to know how to do that, please contact me or any of the other hosts, and we will help with that. We can't thank you enough for sticking with us weekly. We're very excited about bringing you season 2 soon. And without further ado, check out our host, Marshall Alexander, and myself interviewing another host, Shad the Fisherman. It's one of our shorter episodes. We appreciate you so much. Enjoy this candid conversation with Shad the Fisherman. Tony.
Yeah.
It feels good.
Chuck Mangione.
I remember recording shit off fucking the radio station on blank cassettes.
I talk about that too.
Had the commercials in them and all that shit too.
Yeah. Those, like, I remember really when I was a kid, it was 102 Jams. It just was.
Yeah, for around here for sure, yeah.
You know, I was, like I said, I never really picked up on, like, what they called alternative rock until my buddy Ian told me about 311, told me about Rage, told me about, who else was it? Lincoln Park. Korn.
No, it was 2000.
Korn.
Yeah,
Trying to think of who else. Live.
Yeah.
And I really like Live the best out of all of them at first.
Really?
Yeah. The Lightning Crashes really
They were really
talked
good
to me,
live,
yeah.
actually.
They are.
They lived up to their name.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you see them at Epicenter?
That
They
I
were-
didn't,
they were-
because I only had went the one. I was planning on going the one day.
Yeah. They were. I guess they had.
Well, you know, I can't remember if he left or that they kicked him out of the band. And
You know who they almost replaced him with?
And they had one album they did I didn't even listen to the album, but I was like, no, that's not live.
Yeah,
But then they brought him back in. Who did they almost replace him with?
Chris Daughtry.
I can see
while
that.
he was still on, while he was still a contestant on American Idol, they were
Wow.
like, "We'll sign you right now, be our singer." And
I
drop
couldn't
off
I couldn't see him singing their old stuff, but like I could possibly see them coming up with new
Well,
stuff.
I feel like maybe he did a version of Lightning Crashes on American Idol
really?
or something.
I
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
My memory is like a goldfish.
I think I stopped. I watched like the first couple of seasons.
That's
of that,
the only one I watched
and
because
then-
that's the only season I watched because a buddy of mine worked with Chris Daughtry in Greensboro. It's the only reason I watched that.
Did you go to any of the tavern shows with him?
with Daughtry?
Yeah.
Oh no,
I remember we did 2 shows with him.
Really?
I didn't even know
Yeah.
he had played at the tavern.
Was that pre or
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
it had to have been.
Pre-American Idol. Way
Yeah.
pre. Like,
his band was?
I forget his band's name.
I can't remember the name, but they were on MySpace and they were
Yeah.
like grunge, man. They
Yeah,
were
so
good.
they did shows with JJ and the Cinder.
Well, hell, I might have seen him and
You
just didn't know
probably
it.
did, yeah.
Well, he didn't shave his head till American Idol. He
Yeah.
had like curly hair.
Huh.
Yeah.
But his band was dope.
We were just talking. Me and Craig were talking about and that's funny because Craig, my housemate, he's from Stokesdale, and I guess that's where Daughtry's from, around that area. Like he said, I remember seeing him in the grocery store.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
and I guess he still kind of
Yeah.
goes.
Well, a buddy of mine worked with him, and he
Wow.
was like, "Yeah, my friend from work is on American Idol." We're all like,
He
That's gonna be
ended
great.
up being one of the most successful ones, right?
Easily.
Yeah. I mean, I know Carrie Underwood's the top, I think, from what I understand.
Carrie Underwood, Kelly Clarkson. I just saw Daughtry. I just saw Daughtry a few months ago at a Blue Ridge Rock Fest. He did well.
I was gonna say
he did well
after what recently happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man,
he did well.
That's
he
rough.
His little gimmick he did was he took his microphone and then grabbed a megaphone and sung through the megaphone into the microphone. It was pretty cool. Like give a little a voice effect, you know.
Yeah.
What happened there? If you don't mind me asking.
I don't know exactly. I just know one of I think his only child died.
Oh,
real young.
Wow.
Yeah, but he, I mean, he did well. He did well.
And it was like abruptly too. It wasn't like something
unexpected.
But
yeah, live at Epicenter, they came late. They were late. So we were just standing there.
Yeah.
I told you we're like barricade campers.
Yeah.
And so they were late showing up, and then they played. There's 3 #1 hits from the 90s.
Oh,
or 3 big hits. Lightning Crashes.
Well, I always think of their first album, Throwing Copper?
Yeah.
They had that one song, Down by, or something.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
But they played those 3 songs and just got on the stage. Because I remember, like, they got up there and they played a hit. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. Open it up with this. And then the next song, I was like, damn, they played another one. Wow. And then third song, they play Lightning Crashes. I was like, they're crazy. Like, what else are they going to do? And then they just got on.
I Alone.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And that might be what they started with. And then they did Lightning Crashes for the third song. And thank you very much. And left.
Damn.
We were like, they did that on purpose.
Jeez. I got the thing on 20 minutes.
Okay.
So it's like the time rule.
All right. All right. I'm sorry to be talking all that.
No.
That'll probably work.
I was going to say, I figured that might fit in.
The way that we edit it. So.
Yeah.
You go ahead. You've been doing the intros good. The Shad The Fisherman. So.
I don't have a question I've always wanted to ask you.
Yeah. This is only our second time meeting.
Yeah, I know. So. I tell you, you're not sponsored by them, but give a shout out to whoever the hell that shirt came from.
Oh, it's I think a company from out on the West Coast called BB Create. Obviously a play on BB-8.
Yeah.
But I came across them on Insta.
Yeah.
They do a lot of fandom specifically with Star Wars, but check them out, man. They're great. They do a lot with like the pins when that got real big, but they have some apparel and stuff like that. But yeah, I love a good mashup. You know, going back to you talking about your merch days. I mean, that was always one of my favorite things to see mashups and merch, like with bands and.
We called it bootlegging. That's
what
we called it.
I actually follow a page on Instagram. It's like bootleg or something, and it's all these like weird knockoff things.
Well, shout out to Ruger for being like the biggest of that.
Gosh,
like his logos are.
I'm afraid he's gonna get sued.
I hope not.
He's gonna take us all with him. That's my fear. Ruger, you're gonna get sued one day. And I am not going with you. I am not. I don't know you. I'll be there for your kids.
I never sold you a T-shirt. I got a couple that's like, man, I don't even want to say it, but I got a couple that are like that. I'll show you.
I got a good one here recently. Are you familiar with the Cocaine Bear? Have you ever heard of Cocaine Bear?
The movie's there's a movie coming out. Yes, okay. So is that the same thing or?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so it's a brand in a movie.
Well, it's not. It is kind of a brand, but it's actually a real story. Do you know the real story?
Yeah. Where the go ahead.
Yeah. So no, you're.
I know the story.
So definitely look it up on your own. And there's a movie coming out, but basically there's this story about this bear that ate a ass ton of this drug plane had dropped some kilos of cocaine. Bear found it. This bear goes on, eats a ton of cocaine, ends up, ending its life. Well, the bear...
Ending his life.
Yeah. I mean, come on. You eat a kilo of cocaine, I don't care who you
Your
are.
linguistics there.
Yeah. But
the only other way would have been like the bear eats it and he passes away.
He ended his life. All right. Sorry.
But no, you're good.
Sorry.
But anyway, long story short, the bear ended up getting stuffed, taxidermied or whatever. I can't. I actually found out about it so you go to Kentucky. There's this store that has the bear.
The taxidermied bear.
It's Cocaine Bear.
Okay. All right.
And you can get your picture. I got my picture of Cocaine Bear. But the store itself is basically branded for Kentucky. Everything. I think the brand. I'll have to find. I'll wear the shirt next time or something. But anyway, it's one of my favorite ones that I've seen in a long time. So it's actually the spoof is spoiler alert. It's the old Dare logo shirt.
Oh,
no. Dare, and it says Cocaine Bear in the Dare logo. And here recently, I wore it out to a show,
it's a
and
mashup
I was sitting there.
It's ironic. It's perfect.
I was sitting there waiting to go into the show. We were online, and I was sitting there talking to this guy, and he just stopped me. He's like, "I just realized that said Cocaine Bear. I thought that was a Dare T-shirt," and I was like, "It worked.
It worked.
That's a sign that it works."
Oh,
but yeah, I love a good
Wish
old
I had that
spoof
shirt when I was doing Dare in high school. What do you do Dare, like 4th, 5th grade?
Uh-huh.
Some people do it in high school.
Yeah,
though.
I think, is that program actually still up and functional?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I doubt the war on drugs is over. I doubt Dare's still around getting funding.
But yeah, it's I love a good spoof shirt. Another one I always remember is actually somewhat of a local band, but there's a metal band called Darkest Hour, and they used to have it was a shirt with their name, but it was in the same font and stylization as NASCAR.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow!
And it said
stuff like that.
Yeah, and it said "Go fast,
Bootleg.
turn left." Basically like a mosh pit. Go fast, turn left.
Yeah. That's
That was really cool.
Yeah, it's cool, but I'm so afraid if I would ever do that. Like,
Well, I've done it a couple times.
Yeah.
Man. I got a couple. So far, so good.
yeah.
But
You just can't make money off of it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like nobody cares about a knockoff,
Right.
bootleg, or spoof until somebody starts making money off of
Right.
it.
Right.
Well, I figure, Ruger, he's kind of... If they start coming after him, I'll just remove all my shit.
yeah. I mean, he'll be the scapegoat.
He'll be the scapegoat.
But another good memory of bootleggers is like after the concert, guys selling bootleg shirts out in the parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
Those are my favorites, man.
Yeah.
I'll never
Yeah.
forget. We went to, I think it was a 9 Inch Nails show, and I was going with some friends. It was actually up in Winston at the Coliseum. There, they don't do shows hardly there anymore. But anyway, I was going with a group of friends, and somebody had brought their friend's brother's best friend was there, and it was like his first show ever. And he was all amped up and whatever, and we, as we're leaving, we're all trying to go out, and he ends up buying the bootleg shirt. We get in the vehicle to go back home, and I was like, "Oh, let me look at the shirt." And I'm sitting there looking. I was like, had the tour dates on. I said, "It doesn't even have the tour date you just went to." It was that bad of a bootleg, and I'm like, But I kind of thought it was funny. It was like, he'll have a good memory from it.
It is funny. I've never done the bootleg shirts after the shows, but I always want to every time.
Yeah,
Just to support the hustle. I don't know.
You need to do this because I saw it and it got taken down pretty quick. It was the Adidas, and it said "Adios."
Oh,
Have you seen it? Have you seen it?
I had seen that, but
It said "Adios," and it had it was definitely a Photoshop picture of Kanye.
Yeah.
Right.
It said "Adios," and it had 2 instead of 3.
That's pretty good.
And I wanted it. I was like, I'm gonna buy it, and then the site was down within an hour.
Oh man.
Something we could do probably.
Well, I think, hear me out, but I think there's, please don't quote me or just go on your own, do your own research. I think there's something like a 20%, like a special, if you're off by 20%, you can use whatever.
Oh, okay.
So this is clearly off by 20%. That's not a big yellow symbol. So I think that's the main thing. I only remember that because my high school's FFA logo was just the FFA logo without one detail in it. And they were like, yeah, we can do this because it's 20% different. So I don't know.
That might be something.
I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
I'm hoping so.
That's kind of how it is with sampling music, like it's got to be like, I can't remember what Western was saying, like 5 seconds or less, or 2 seconds or less, and then you can use it.
Yeah, under fair use policy.
Yeah, under something, where it's not like that recognizable.
Yeah.
So like with sampling, you don't ever have to pay.
It just really depends. What the volume of your streams now is what going to determine if they're going to come after you.
Yeah, well, they're not going to.
Well, like I said, it goes back to, are you making money off of
it?
Yeah.
Because so, just for my instance, I used a Pharrell beat for one of an old song that I just used to perform. Did it for AOL. AOL paid me back in the day to do a song for their DJ, and I just used a Pharrell beat because that's what they wanted to use. Never put it out. Put it out on my Definition Volume 1. It never cleared. And then when I decided to put it on, I can't remember what I put it on in the last 2 years, it went through. It went through the whole algorithm, the system, because usually they'll put it on there, and it's similar to Shazam, so where like as soon as you put something into
it's going to
pick it up.
Shazam, like it's
I know what it is, but I'm not very familiar. What it works.
It's kind of like it. Yeah, you just assume like you push it and then it recognizes that song instantly.
Oh, I got you.
So like they just put it in there. You put your song in, and it goes through a check. Well, it cleared the check. But if I go ahead and if I probably have 1 million streams, they're gonna come to me. You see what I'm saying? But it's right now. It's free online, and you can do it. And
right.
You know, which beforehand it wasn't gonna do that. So things have changed. Thankfully, Westifer has got picked up by Cool and Dre, and he's got like he can help if that ever happens.
Oh, okay,
that's good.
So
that's good.
It's just weird. So tell me about Amigo. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, Amigo the Devil.
Yeah.
Actually, that was the second time I got to see him. I was turned on to him by my girlfriend. She was a big fan of. It sounds like a band, but it's technically just one person. His name, I don't know his full name, but I know his first name is Danny. And oddly enough, I think I remember the first time I seen him was actually at the Carolina Rebellion. The last year they had it in Concord. I remember seeing his name on the 50 plus bands that were on the bill. I was like, huh, because I've been to so many shows. I'm not bragging or anything like that, but like you kind of start seeing like, oh, that's a new band I've never heard of or anything. And honestly, I didn't go check them out, but I remember seeing that name. And then fast forward a few years, my girlfriend was into him. She's like, oh, you need to check him out. It's one of those, he predominantly plays an acoustic guitar by himself. An amazing personality, like legit is a true artist. You can tell, like just from hearing him talk, he's having fun. He's there to entertain. As far as his music, I could tell you some things, but I'd rather you just go check them out. I can highly recommend. Very, very good, interesting lyrics. Just check them out, man. You'll have a blast with it. I think he's put out 2 or 3 albums total.
3.
He started up his own label, the Losers Club, something like that. Actually, the first time I seen him, I got to see one of the first. I think it's the first band that he signed his label, Tejon Street Musicians. A little 3-piece, sometimes 4-piece. Great artist too. Just there to have a good time, have fun, good music. Everybody, it's one of those like you can go in and not having heard any of their stuff, and within a couple songs, you're vibing right along and having a good time, and you can end up by the end of the set be singing along with them. It's that kind of music.
Nice.
But yeah, I actually got to see him open up for a band I'd never seen before and heard a lot about, Trampled by Turtles. I love the name. But it was also the first time going to the Fillmore in Philly, which was nice. That's a pretty older venue. Has had a lot of good artists come through there. It was kind of cool there. over near the main bar area. They had this huge wall, and they had took a bunch of the, I guess, all the artists that had played there, like when they had their poster or whatever, and just plastered it on the wall and kind of painted over it. And I'm sitting there like, oh, so David Bowie's played here.
Wow.
I just was in the same building that David Bowie's played in, you know, and stuff like that. It just, yeah, exactly,
man.
Exactly.
That's why I love Milestone.
First time I played the Milestone, just about to
Yeah.
say. First time I played the
Yeah.
Milestone, I was just in there like,
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, like I always think about the old Ziggy's up in Winston.
Yeah.
Did you ever
Yeah.
play there?
Oh yeah. A lot,
Okay,
a lot,
okay.
yeah.
And I mean, when I first started going there and then found out all the artists and musicians that have come there, I was like, whoa. Like when they announced they were tearing that place down, I was like, I would love to just have a chunk of that stage.
Yeah.
Like it just to say, I have a chunk of, I mean, as goofy as it sounds.
No, it's not
but,
goofy,
Like,
no.
I'm fortunate enough to have a chunk of Tremont's stage.
no shit.
Yeah.
That's another how I missed that place.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's crazy.
Oh man.
But yeah, definitely check out Amigo. I mean, you know, it's some of the, you know, subject matter might be a little not to normal for what you would think with that style of an artist, but
Yeah.
That's
he definitely.
he described him as like a different style Bob Dylan.
Yeah,
That's a
I
good
can see
way.
That's
that.
how you said
He
it,
definitely
right?
has a little
You said
folk
it,
vibe to him,
Yeah,
for
little
sure.
folk
I
vibe.
listened to a few songs after he mentioned it, and then you said you were like when y'all were talking the last time, saying you were about to go see him.
Yeah.
Speaking of David Bowie, the film,
Moon Age Daydream.
yeah,
Yeah, man, that was an experience, man.
yeah. So with you watching that and then watching Amsterdam, like the whole Nonsense song. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
That was like a really,
Yeah.
like it was like within the same month I saw both of those.
yeah, same
So I
here.
think we should do a Nonsense song in the podcast sometime.
Yeah, for sure.
Nonsense song. I think what they write is like what David Bowie used to write several songs, not like a whole like his whole catalog, but he would just write bars and then just cut them up.
Yeah.
And then put them up and just like place them how they go.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It reminds
And,
me of something more modern. Is I don't know if they're still popular, but I remember, you know, a decade ago the magnets
Yeah.
with all the different words, and you could just plop them all
Yeah.
up there, and you would change certain things. You would like I remember, you know, you'd start a sentence, and then you know the day later you walk by, oh, somebody's changed it and
Yeah.
added something to
That's
it.
cool.
Almost like a Mad Lib type thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could just sit there and write like in the structured like this is a bar. I think in Amsterdam they had to have had like a word that they would rhyme.
Yeah.
Because that's how they did. So like at the end of it, that's what rhyme and just make
That's
it
a neat
fucking-
concept.
It's neat. And
Well, I
see
feel
it
like
2 times.
part of that was, and maybe I'm totally wrong, but I felt like, you know, back in that period of time, and even before that, when you know, recorded music was still fairly new, I felt like even if you go back to a lot of the older songs that we know that have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years, they're all kind of nonsense songs.
Oh, yeah.
You know, or even going back to the
Yeah.
medieval times when they, you know, the minstrel songs and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that could almost be considered a nonsense, you know,
Yeah,
song.
like he said, it just had to rhyme.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
like,
It had to be
yeah,
catchy.
Yeah, it
Because
had
you
to-
were trying to gather the attention of the audience that
Yeah.
was like living through
We
the
ought
Black
to-
Plague or whatever.
I'll have to like post a status on Facebook and be like, drop a line that ends with something that rhymes with this.
Yeah,
Take those comments, put those comments together, and then make a song out of it.
Going back to I don't know about a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
When I did that song, the next day I was like, I don't know about my, I know about my friends and I know about my fam. I know about my ends and I know about my plans. I know about my lens and I know about my cam, but I really don't know. And then I had to fill in. I said it doesn't rhyme. People were
you
saying,
literally just filled it in with the fill-in part.
people were like,
Oh yeah.
people were like, green eggs and ham. Like really, and I was like, it doesn't rhyme.
Yep. That's
They were
because you understand multi-syllable rhyme schemes, and that's not something that a lot of people really get.
Yeah. So
I know about green eggs and ham.
Yeah, and I mean, it was like,
Well, we don't use the good ones.
I mean, I can't even remember. I'm gonna have to look that up. Like, it just infuriated me, man, because it said no rhyme. Somebody was like, he said it didn't rhyme. Like green eggs and ham, man.
Well, I think for a lot of people, that was their first introduction to rhyming.
Dr. Seuss?
Dr. Seuss.
Yeah.
That is true.
That's a good
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
Mine.
Dude,
I mean, at least
honestly,
in the last 30, 40 years.
if you put a little,
Plus.
if you put a little pizzazz on Dr. Seuss,
Yeah.
Yeah.
man, spitting some bars.
Yeah.
That is
I want to eat it
true.
with a fox. I want to eat it in a box. I mean,
Yeah.
put a little attitude on that. Come on.
Yeah. Well, you've seen Samuel L. Jackson do the Goodnight Moon.
Oh,
No.
Yeah. He does Goodnight Moon, and then he does Go to Sleep, Motherfucker.
Yeah. Now go to sleep, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Or no, it's go to the fuck to sleep.
Go to fuck to
Now
sleep.
go to
yeah.
fuck to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good book.
Ludacris does Llama Llama Pajama Llama.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, you start when you start being a dad, you start learning these
Yeah.
fucking weird ass chicka chicka boom boom.
Mm-hmm.
Is there enough room? Like, it's just weird stuff, man. That's why we
can't
need
wait.
to also get into writing kids' books, writing kids' rhymes. This is something me and T talked about a long time, but me and T just, we can't get on the same page.
Yeah.
So, we could write some.
It's
cool
funny you mentioned that. I
kids'
thought here
rhymes.
recently, somebody was telling me, or I read it somewhere, that you can, like, legit make so simple kids' books and sell them to Amazon for
Yeah.
and make a killing off of them.
Yeah.
And you have to have like just basic illustrations.
Yeah.
And like I remember, I want to say it was somebody. It's always the outlier, but like they had put out like 50 books, sold 50 books to Amazon in a year, and made like 6 figures total off of it.
Jimmy Fallon said he made more off the 2 kids' books he did than a whole year of what he does on the show.
I didn't even know he had written 2 kids'
I didn't
books.
know that either till I saw it.
Hey, totally squirrel moment, but I know. Do you guys watch Saturday Night Live at all?
I was watching my wife.
All right, so this Saturday night, Chappelle's hosting.
Oh,
Black
boy.
Star is
Oh,
performing.
man.
That's gonna be mean. That's
Yes,
gonna be
sir. Yes,
Mean. That's gonna
sir.
be mean.
I had actually had plans to go to Charlotte to a show, and I was like, "Nah, I'm staying home watching Black Star
Hey,
and
yeah.
Chappelle."
Wow.
I wonder if he will bring up this whole.
Oh, you know he
It's
will.
Dave Chappelle, dude.
Yeah.
It's Dave Chappelle. That's
I'm
surprised
honestly
they're giving him
wondering,
that
yeah,
gig,
okay,
honestly.
yeah.
no. He did it twice during the pandemic,
Really.
and well, maybe it was. I don't know if it was before.
I'm
Right
talking
before.
about post that last Netflix special.
Yeah. Oh no, he hasn't done anything
That's
since
what
that.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That shit's done. You gotta get over that shit.
I'm just saying.
It's another one of those, like we were just talking about it.
Mhm.
People comment on that and haven't even listened to the special. And it's like, you
Mhm.
did not listen
Yeah.
to the special. I don't care what side you're on that,
That's
or how
a
you
lot
feel
of-
about it.
Yeah.
But if
That's a
you
lot
listen
of
to
what
his
that is.
special,
Yep.
you can't say
That's-
what you
yeah.
think everybody's saying.
Yeah.
He
That's
That's what
what-
a lot of that cancel culture.
That's
probably
what.
is.
That's why I'm riding with Kanye, because
Mhm.
you got to listen to this whole man. And he just did a recent one that's 20 minutes long, which is
Mhm.
not that long. People can listen to it and be like, "This man is actually saying some really big truths." Right
I just
now.
wish he'd sprinkle in a little less
crazy.
of that crazy
Get,
bullshit.
but just watch. I mean, really, that if you watch that 3 hours, you would have, or 2.5 hours, you would not see an ounce of craziness.
Mm.
I'm serious. It's like
Yeah.
they just pulled this out, and
Mhm.
that's what they want.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, like he is not. The 20-minute one, he was like, "I am not taking my medication because this doctor has prescribed me this, and I am on my clear." Like, it's clear, it's concise. He's not fucking off, and he's telling you like this, and it's really, it's some changing stuff.
Yeah.
Kyrie's doing it. Somebody else is going to do it. Hopefully, somebody else is going to do it. But I just remember, the phases of signing contracts in Atlanta was like very similar to what he's saying. Very similar. Even to the point where, you know, when I was putting my contracts up, and I had in there, you do not say anything about, you know, don't do any Jesus or God stuff. That was like the contract that was given to me from somebody in Atlanta to mimic. And that's what Kanye was talking about. Like, they're telling you not to do this. They're telling you to do this instead. And they're promoting killing the black man, killing, you know, and it's just, I hope that Dave Chappelle can get the crowd that won't listen to that whole thing right now and pull it in and say, look, this is what they're doing to us.
I don't know, man. The same people who were outraged at Kanye West are outraged at Dave Chappelle. I don't see him pulling in
You don't
extra
think so?
people. I don't. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But, like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
Well, this is
this a wrap?
well, it's 9:58. So we are. Whenever y'all are ready.
I think we got enough.
Yeah. Damn. I had something to say and I forgot it.
I did too.
It was right before the squirrel moment. What were we talking about? Damn, right before
Everything.
squirrel, what were we talking about? Shit.
Hate that shit. Well, at least we got it recorded.
All right. We hope you enjoyed that candid conversation with Shad the Fisherman. It was one of the earliest interviews that we did, so we were testing our waters out. A lot shorter than our normal ones, but we appreciate you watching and hope you enjoyed some of the topics that kind of have already gone and went, but it definitely grasped the moment in time when we were first starting out on ASHEBORO Undecided, much like the previous 3 interviews that we released on season 1. Right now, I want to give you a first look, a first taste of the album I've been working on called The Hollywood Diaries that I began writing a few days before I flew out to LA. During that process and a couple days after I arrived back in ASHEBORO. So there's 4 songs already recorded. I'm giving you a taste of those right now. And I appreciate all the backers and the sponsors that helped me get out there. I can't thank you guys enough. I'm going to thank again. I'm going to thank Amazed Event Planning. I'm going to thank the Media Blast PR with Jonathan Coleman. And I'm going to thank Michael Gonzalez over at Active Zone Gaming. We do have another sponsor for our Atlanta trip. And that's The Creative Businessman. It's a podcast located out of Greensboro. Neil Hoover is an actor and a good friend of ours, and they picked up a sponsorship for the Atlanta trip, which is going on next week. So wish me luck on that. And if you're interested in becoming a sponsor or a donor or a backer, please let us know. We're going to start our Kickstarter or Indiegogo campaign after season 1. We got 1 episode left of season 1, and then we're on to season 2. We'll probably have some kind of celebration, so keep your ears on to that. Please subscribe, share, comment, like, word of mouth, like I said, and rate on IMDb. That's big. If you need to know how to do that, just contact us. So right now, here's a first look, first listen, first taste of The Hollywood Diaries, my upcoming album. These songs are produced by Atrocity, Jay Bryant, and AD. Thanks a lot, y'all.
They giving me love, they giving me hugs, they giving me things. They giving me trophies, giving me cups, giving me rings. They giving me hate, they giving me grief, it's giving me sting. But I'll be ready for whatever that they bring, yeah. They giving me love, they giving me hugs, they giving me things. They giving me trophies, giving me cups, giving me rings. They giving me hate, they giving me grief, it's giving me sting. But I'll be ready for whatever that they bring, yeah. It's unbelievable what I have made achievable, yeah. And I can see right through the evil too, it's seeping through, yeah. And all these people do this, leaking through the seas that grew. And we blew through, hope boxes of that new booze. They nicknamed the cup Mike Tyson the juice crew. It would knock your ass out one time, so whoop whoop. I've been on memory lane, so cruise through. They say it's a thief, but time's a cruel dude. The beating cans versus like good move fuel. Doing anything in Hollywood I could, should do. Now put your money on the boy, the moves is foolproof, yeah. The moves is foolproof, yeah. Every time. The moves is foolproof, yeah. I'm punching up. I'm punching up. I'm going all in, I ain't giving up. I love my city and I'm gonna lift it up. The world is mine, but that never is enough. I'm punching up. I'm punching up. I'm going all in, I ain't giving up. I love my city and I'm gonna lift it up. The world is mine, but that never is enough. I'm punching up. I'm punching up. I'm going all in, I ain't giving up. I love my city and I'm gonna lift it up. The world is mine. When I look into your eyes and eyes, when I look into your eyes and eyes, when I look into your eyes and eyes, I realize what I'm here for. When I look into your eyes and eyes, when I look into your eyes and eyes, when I look into your eyes and I realize what I'm here for. Yeah, it's still a beautiful fight, trying to get up and go in the middle of the night. It's so hard to go through it. We've been busy, we've been moving. We so in love, it's been proven. But all this time that they care, can't get along, don't ever play fair. But that's really all across the map. So hey there, I forget about it all and watch Cocaine Bear. They say they wanna take me. They say they wanna take me. They say they wanna take me on back to Cali. They say they wanna take me. They say they wanna take me. They say they wanna take me.